Rachel and Jerrod first met in the 5th grade. It was during these early years in school together they formed a friendship that lasted throughout their adolescence and would eventually bring them to this day. It would seem at first that fate wanted to drive them apart. When Rachel and Jerrod lost touch after school and both left to Seattle to travel different paths again. Yet fate, coincidence, or maybe just plain luck, brought them back home and back together years later.
I have never known someone who understands me as well as you do. Who's as loving, patient, forgiving, and as accepting as you are. I didn't expect that someone I've known as a friend for so much of my life would become the love of my life.
You may share your first kiss together as husband and wife.
Yay!
Having witnessed your vows for marriage with all those who are assembled here today, I announce with great joy that you are from this time on husband and wife.
Keep kissing!
We share a sense of adventure, a love of animals, and of course a taste for flavored martinis. In fact, I don't think Iris has ever been the same since you left New York. Yet the thing I love most about you is your ability to accept people for who they are, as you have with me, and I'm sure that's one of the things that Jerrod loves most about you as well. I'm not sure all of you know Rachel and Jerrod's love story, so I just wanted to share a few details because it's a pretty amazing one. They actually met 25 years ago while in 5th grade, and just 2 years later Jerrod got up the nerve to ask Rachel out, but she had to graciously decline because she wasn't allowed to date until she was 16. Jerrod, you're a very patient man. Their lives took them to many different places, but ironically they ended up back in Seattle in 2007 in just about the same month. And little did Jerrod know, but Rachel was doing a little bit of an internet search for him. And after a MySpace connection in 2008, they became a couple. Thank God for social networking. 2 years later, Jerrod shocked Rachel with an amazing proposal at the top of the Tokyo Tower in Japan. And even though I just met Jerrod a couple days ago, I have a feeling that his motto is go big or go home. And I'm certain this is one of the things that Rachel loves about you. Which brings us to this beautiful wedding day. Rachel recently shared something about marriage that resonated with me. She shared that people are often shocked that she's in her 30s and yet this is her first marriage. Her response to this is that she would have waited until she was 90 for the right one than to marry the wrong one. Jerrod, she obviously believes you are the Mr. Right. And for that, you are one lucky guy. Rachel and Jerrod, you've been on some amazing adventures in your time together. And I think I speak for everyone when I say we can't wait to hear stories and see pictures from your many adventures still to come. In other words, we all expect postcards from your Mediterranean honeymoon.
I've shared a lot of adventures with Jerrod, from going to Canada, to New York, to all over the place, to the plains of Azeroth, which is the World of Warcraft. But a long time ago, Jerrod gave me a call and said, hey, I lost my job. And so I bought a one-way ticket and I went to pick him up. And I always tell this story as if I rescued or saved Jerrod. And so we came back, we drove the car back. It was shortly after that Rachel and Jerrod met via this strange new thing called the internet. And I realized at this point that it wasn't me who rescued Jerrod, it was Rachel. Since I've known and been blessed by watching your relationship together, excuse me, I'm choking up. I've actually seen Jerrod mature and become an amazing man. This guy, I don't know if you know this, but when we used to live together, we'd go running and he could barely make it a half mile. Now, I'm serious. This guy now, he runs 5 to 7 miles every other day. He's lost a ton of weight and looks amazing. And honestly, that's a huge influence. You guys complement each other amazingly, and I'm so proud of you.
When we first started dating 3.5 years ago, I thought we would hang out for a few weeks and move on with our lives and just have some fun and then move on, because I didn't think that we had anything in common. I thought what I wanted was someone who ran marathons and climbed mountains, which Jerrod didn't do. Unfortunately, Jerrod kept calling, and even though I thought I wanted something else, I kept saying yes, and I'm so grateful that I did. The things I've learned about Jerrod and what he's taught me, I could have never imagined. While I was focused on what we didn't have in common, I was missing out on what makes our relationship so special. And Jerrod told me not too long ago that we're like yin and yang, that we're a perfect complement for each other. Jerrod relaxes me and helps me see the small details in life that make our life so wonderful. And in return, we've had some really amazing adventures. And it's amazed me every time, his willingness to just come along and do these adventures with me. I think I started to suspect for the first time that Jerrod was the right one for me last year on my birthday when I dragged him up Mount St. Helens. I was really worried about the climb because Jerrod isn't known for his mountain climbing, and I thought he would probably hate me for making him climb up a volcano. But he didn't complain at all, and I realized as we made our way up to the summit in the middle of the whiteout that he was climbing the mountain not because it was there, which is really a silly reason to climb a mountain anyway, but he was climbing this mountain because he loved me. And I realized that if he was willing to climb a mountain for me, then I was willing to do anything for Jerrod. So here we are, 3.5 years later. There's a whole lot more to Jerrod and Rachael than I ever could have thought not possible. We have many more years together, many more mountains to climb, unfortunately for you. Many more adventures to go on. I'm glad you kept calling, and I'm glad I kept saying yes, because I think of what we would be missing if we'd given up when we thought that we weren't meant for each other.